And if we are talking about free education in Norway, many people have so many questions. But what is the better way of talking education in Norway than interviewing a person who is studying in Norway? So this is my friend. We studied together in Tanzania, University of Dar es Salaam. Now he's in Norway pursuing his Ph.D. in Norway. So he's going to be our guest today. I'll be guiding few questions first of all, and then I will invite others to bring your questions, and then we can be able to ask him so that he can be able to answer the questions. Welcome, Samwel.
Thank you very much, Makulino.
First of all, I would like to say thank you, first of all, for you accepting to be live with me today and be in a position to share a lot of things people have been talking about Norway, but you are the expert in Norway because you live in Norway.
The pressure is mine. The pressure is mine.
So, first thing, can you introduce yourself? Who are you and where you are right now? I'm talking to you.
Yeah, so as you've mentioned, my name is Samwel Ntapanta. I'm a PhD fellow at the Department of Social Anthropology at the University of Oslo.
The best university.
Currently, I'm in Oslo.
Yeah, so Oslo in Norway.
Oslo in Norway.
Yes, but for people, if want to know a little bit of background, can you say where did you study your bachelor degree and what did you study? What did you study for masters? Which country or which university? And currently, we already said you were University of Oslo. You are doing PhD. So can you just start with that one?
Yeah, sure. If you can remember, I was 1 year behind you at the University of Dar es Salaam. So I pursued political science and sociology.
Yes.
One of those, there were new courses, degree programs when we started. So I finished in 2009.
Yes.
And then I worked a little bit in between for some years until 2015 when I joined University of Aarhus in Denmark to pursue Master of Science in Human Security.
That's very good.
Which went from 2015 to 2017. And then luckily, 1st of January 2018, I started the PhD.
Yeah, at the great University of Oslo. If you go to the world ranking of the universities, top 50, Oslo is there.
Yeah, it's there. I think it's number 30 something.
Yeah. So I've been talking a lot and I've been encouraging people when they apply for schools to consider Europe as the first destination than in the US direct. One is because of there is application fee here. There are so many other things, especially in America, than in Europe. But in Europe, Scandinavian countries are the first destination or the first areas where I encourage many people to go, apart from the lifestyle, apart from education. But specifically, we are talking about free education in Norway. That is the core part of this discussion for today. First of all, is it true that education is free? That means you don't pay school fees or tuition and fees in Norway?
Is completely free.
And that free, whether you are a citizen or not?
I mean zero. That's how it is.
That's very good. Just to confirm, because we read on the website, so education is free, blah, 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 blah. But yes, now we confirm that education is 100% free. So, and that free, that means is from primary school to PhD level, right?
Yeah, it's actually it's free, but this is something also I want to point out.
Yes.
So PhD in Scandinavian countries is not an education, it's an employment.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's free because in US and in UK you have to pay or you have to get scholarship for that.
Yes.
But otherwise in Scandinavia, especially here in Norway and in Denmark where I have experience, you get paid.
I have to come there.
You get employed at the department and you get pension out of it.
That's very, very good. So we know one of the things is when you go there, let's say you are going to do bachelor, we'll talk about it, or masters. In majority of people are applying for bachelor and masters. There is no fees you need to pay at all, but there is a cost of living. You have to do that. So if I apply University of Oslo or University of Tromsø or whatever any other university there, I get admission. How will I be able to survive the cost of living? Because here in the US, I have to work. And there is a limitation of hours, 20 hours per week. How is students' life in terms of getting extra money for work?
Yeah, so in those Scandinavians, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, as we have mentioned, the education is free. But, and actually it's free for everybody, no matter where you come from.
Yeah.
But then there are classifications of which part of the world you're coming from. So for Europeans, actually they don't have to show that they can afford the cost of living.
Because they live there.
Yeah, and we know that Scandinavians are among 10 most expensive places to live.
Yes.
That's very important. However, the law say if you are coming outside of EU and EEA and EFTA zone, you have to prove that you can support your living costs while you are studying. So for Norway, you have to show the government that you have, I think, 121,000 Norwegian kroners, which if you convert to Tanzanian shillings, it's around, I think, 20 million Tanzanian shillings.
Yeah, usually I tell people average just 10,000 US dollar, maximum 15 or 12,000 around that. Yeah.
It's around there. But so you have to show them. And the laws say if you have a Norwegian account, you just submit your bank statement, so it's in the account. But if you're coming from Tanzania, you don't have a Norwegian account yet, then you can deposit at the university
account,
the department you're going to start account, and they will show the migrations, the government, that this student has the money to show that they can afford. But that can make people afraid, like, 20 million is, for people like us, we came from our families, we know, our economic hardships. But the good thing is you are allowed to work up to 20 hours a week.
Yes.
And in Norway and Denmark also are among the countries in the world where the minimum pay is higher than anywhere.
Yes. Different from here.
And it depends which sector you are working with. And I will talk here about the service sector, which is like the lowest.
Yes.
Being a waiter, working in a bar, doing dishes. I dishwashed when I was doing my master's too. And the minimum pay in Norway is 168 Norwegian krona. If you convert that to Tanzanian shillings, it's around 40,000.
So average is just like minimum will be like $18 going to 20.
Yeah, to 24. Yeah, $18 to $24 per hour.
Yes.
And you're allowed to work 20 hours. And this, this is the legal parameter. I don't want to talk about,
under the table. No, this is the legal way, normal way you can earn your money.
Yeah. There are other ways they call black ways, but forget about them. This is the legal.
Yeah. So you have pointed something very good. If I want to paraphrase some of the things for the audience, I apply to the university, I get admission. In order to process the visa, I needed to show I have the money to support myself. Unlike in the US, you show the bank statement which you have in your own local account. But for Norway, you have to show the bank statement coming from the bank in Norway. So if you yourself, you have your account, or you have your friend's account, they put the money, it's okay. Or you can put the money into the bank account of the department you are going to study. The department gives you the actual bank statement, which you'll be using to the interview. And once you arrive in Norway, two things happen. Number one, they'll give you money, that money back to you. That's number one. And two, then you can be able to leave. So if you borrow the money from someone, you can pay back someone the money. And for you, you can have the cost of living by working. And the cost of living by working, you said the lowest pay usually is around, let's say, in a very simple way, is $15 to $18 per hour. Which in the US, most of the students, they work $8 to $10 per hour. So that is, I mean, even, yes, Norway, whatever, have high cost of living, but they're also very happy too. So thank you for clarifying that one. So let's go to the work.
I wanted to add a little bit there.
Yes.
I wanted to add a little bit there. There's something additional to that.
Yes.
So in Scandinavia, they have there are several foundations. You know, like in US, like the rich families, the rich companies, which give small stipends.
Yes.
To the disadvantaged students. So apart only from working, also someone can, look at this foundation and these funds where they can say, okay, we give you $10 per year, just to top up. So it's not only limited to work, but also you can,
find out,
apply for some funds from foundations, from banks, and
for me, I got also, apart from when I was doing my master's, I got the scholarship from the department, but also external foundation, which is Rotary International, paid also extra money, $24,000, which I didn't apply. I didn't even apply. They say we want to give you extra money.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's go to talk about the work itself, and the studying, and the living. I've been trying to look at the cost of living of different cities in Norway. I know Oslo is one among the highest. So let's use the highest cost of living of Oslo, so that if you go to the lower one, it's easier to survive. So if you work the $18 per hour, or $15, $20 per hour, 20 hours per week, that means it's 80 hours per month, whatever. Can you be able to survive without any stress in Oslo?
Yeah, exactly. Depends on how you live.
The normal person, not to live like local people, like you have to go to the disco, bar, whatever. No. The normal.
And that's very important to point out, because going out in Norway is even expensive for Norwegians themselves. I'll tell you one example.
Yes.
The cheapest beer you can buy outside is 120 Norwegian kroners. If you divide by 200, or if you multiply by 200, Tanzanian shillings, around 15,000. So it's one of the most expensive. However, that money is enough. So, for example, the University of Oslo, the government has created this special department which work on own a lot of students' apartments.
Yes.
And these are they are very cheap. So you don't have to go to the private apartments, which are quite
so we call
expensive.
it's just like low income one, which is helping a lot of people.
For students, so they have student villages.
Oh, okay.
It's like Mabibo, of course, like Mabibo.
Yes.
Exactly. So you get your room, you share a kitchen with the other people, you have your bathroom, and you are studying desk. Those are very cheap. And then what else remains there depends where you'll be living is transport.
Yes.
Which for students is around 300 krona a month, which if we make on Tanzanian shillings, it's not that expensive. I think it's should be around 18,000.
So like $10 max.
Yeah, it's not that expensive. So, and that's the good thing about Norway. A lot of things are cheaper for students.
Yes.
So you have all these student discounts. And then food wise, which is central,
Yes.
when you are studying, you have to eat. You don't have to have those. You remember the cards you used to buy at. So for food, actually, when I moved here, so I want to talk from my experience.
Yes.
When I moved here, I didn't know. I went to the supermarkets to buy food, and it was super expensive. And somehow I start eating bread, like back.
Yeah.
At the University of Dar es Salaam, when at the end of the semester, when you had to eat bread all over just to pass days.
Yes.
But then I discovered there is a district in Oslo. It's called Greenland. And in Greenland is where all migrants, most of migrants, not all, most of migrants live there, especially refugees from Syria, have been many years. And they have shops where you can even get tilapia.
Yeah.
So these are the places you have to know where to go to shop.
Exactly.
You go there, you buy your 10 kilogram of rice, super cheap. You get ugali, super cheap. You get matoke, super cheap. So then you have to know, where you can live cheaply.
Those are very good tips, because when you are not aware, because we use, for instance, in Africa, Tanzania, for instance, eating out, going to eat in the restaurants, it's easy, it's cheaper, sometimes even than cooking. But here, if you go to the restaurants, it's so expensive. But cooking for yourself is very affordable. Going to drink beer in the bar is more expensive, but if you buy the beer and drink at your own home, it's cheaper. So you have to find out how you can be able to live comfortably and still save extra money on that particular area.
You can even send money home. If you know the small tricks on where to save and where not to spend.
Instead of buying into the very expensive store, there are second-hand stores. Those kind of the cheaper, newer but cheaper stores, kind of things. And there are some organizations which give for free to people of low income.
There are places where people go to throw their clothes to be taken. And this is very important, because I know as Tanzanians, we are a little bit shy, We have that kind of being shy. Even transport, instead of taking tram or metro, you can buy a bike, a cycle, You buy a bicycle in a second-hand shop, which costs nothing, and then you don't pay transport for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So there's small tricks.
Let me give you the funny story about being shy. So for me at that time, I was almost 1 year already in the US. So I finished teaching Fulbright. I moved to California. I was doing my master's. So one of international student was a Nigerian girl. She was pursuing Masters of Law. And in my school, we have law school and we have School of Peace. But we shared some 3 or 4 classes related to human rights, immigration, whatever. Some of the classes we studied together. So international office created the Thanksgiving party. So we go there and eat, all international students. So when it was over, so obviously we carried food to our houses. In Africa, to carry food from any celebration or a certain place, that's poverty, that's bad behavior, whatever. So that lady would say, just get anything you want, like a turkey or something to home. Say, no, I'm okay. And I came to realize that, for me, I've been in 1 year, so I know it's normal. I said, do you know we are not in Africa? Here it's normal. You are okay. It's allowed. It's not a bad behavior. It's bad to leave the food going to be thrown away. That's a bad behavior. So,
actually, well, I didn't do that much because, because in Denmark, because I came with another way. I didn't come with a scholarship. I came through family. And in Denmark, if this is another way. If you come with a family, through family, you get paid actually to start. So you get stipends. From high school, I think you start getting stipend. And one of my friends, they were dumpster diving. And as a Tanzanian, I could not do it. And dumpster diving at the supermarkets is fresh fruits, fresh tomatoes, bread. In supermarkets, if they make a bread and it's a little bit cooked, they throw it away. But if you go to those containers where they threw, you find food. And they were going to dumpster diving. I could not do it. So this is one part of, the Tanzanian shy.
I remember my first bed, I got it from it was free, it was just someone put on the dumpster. I said, okay, why should I buy the bed? And I was there for 10 months. Why should I buy the bed, which, let me stay with it, it was a very nice mattress.
No, this is my room. It's a little bit all over. But almost everything is picking from the street.
Yeah. So
because here people, when they want to throw things out, there's a special place where you place them.
Yeah.
And you just have to go there and pick them,